Today we will be doing amino acids, and this course 2280 biochemistry has a different way of memorizing the amino acids, four different categories instead of doing all this like aliphatic. So first there's just going to be four categories. So nonpolar is the biggest category, but it's also the easiest to memorize because I actually have this mnemonic that I learned. We're going to be doing here we're going to be learning the mnemonic for the first six Gavli. I'm writing a bit too big. P. So what I want you to memorize here is glycine, alanine, valine, leucine, isoleucine, proline. So what you're going to remember is glaciers in Alaska valiantly locate isolated prowlers, or like isolated, whatever you want. Just make it really funny so you can retain it in your head. This is more of just like an exercise I want you guys to do, is to be able to memorize all of these in the chart. You want to make up your own ways to memorize. But so these are actually the easiest ones to remember, the easiest amino acids out of the 20 that you have to know. And we're kind of short on time here, so I'm really trying to get through them as quickly as I can. Glaciers in Alaska valiantly locate isolated prowlers. The reason why it's really easy, look, H. I'm just going to draw the side groups for you here. So for all of them, you just imagine the C and then the amino group here, and then the carboxyl, and then the other H here. You'll notice that there's an H here and an H here. So when you're looking at the amino acid for glycine, it's interesting because this is the only one that's not chiral out of all the amino acids. Alanine is quite simple too, just a methyl group. That's it. So G and A, you're already done. Glycine, alanine. 3 letters, single letter in the names. Now let's do valine. Quite simple to remember. CH2. And then it splits off into 2. So it's a hydrocarbon, right? Like just the side chain. Leucine is actually an extension of valine. So instead of just one CH2 here, there's 2. And then it branches off. Okay. Like that. CH3. There. Isoleucine is actually just an isomer of leucine. So look at the name, easy. So what you do is you take this CH3 here and you move it up to here. So instead it becomes like CH binds to CH3, this CH3, and then binds to CH2, which is this one, and then binds to CH3. Easy. Now proline is the hard one, but what you need to remember is that this is actually an amino acid, which is weird because it actually binds to that amine group here. So the side chain is going to bind to it. And that's the only one that binds to the amino chain. So if you don't need to draw it, then it's quite easy. But the way you draw it is just, you have the C here, then you bind the CH2, then you bind to another CH2, then you bind to another CH2, and then you bind to that amino group. Okay, so it's like a ring, except not a real ring. Now we move on to the last 3 nonpolar. And the way I remember the last 3 nonpolar is, for the single letter, you have F, W, M, and then this is P. This is PRP. This is MET. So phenylalanine, tryptophan. Let me tell you about the mnemonic here that I have. M should be pretty easy, but I just remember is like female, walrus, male, and then for the 3 letters, I just remember as like pine tree, Mustang. Did I screw up here? No, I didn't. Great, okay. Phenylalanine is really easy. You see? What's this? What's this look like? That's just proline, right? I'm drawing it sideways now. This is just not proline, I'm sorry. This is just alanine with the methyl group. All you do with phenyl is you add a phenyl. You add a 6 ring here, and that's it. Tryptophan, what you do is, this one's really complicated, but I will try my best. See this CH2 here? Then it goes down to C, then it goes down to CH, then it goes down to NH, then it connects to your ring. And the ring is actually, what is this, benzene? I don't know. But yeah, it looks like this. This is actually a really good drawing. Now, I'm going to bring this down here. Methionine is really easy to memorize because it's just a straight line. So I'm going to draw it sideways again. CH2, CH2 again, then SH, then CH3. So just the sulfur in the middle. So we're done that part. Now let's go on to polar. So we still have like 11 more to go, but we're going to do polar acidic. This is our second group. Polar acidic, so it's charged. Polar acidic charged. Now, oops, let's go back here. And we're going to have, shit, I'm running out of time. I'm sorry, guys. Aspartic acid. So that's going to be the letters. It's just the, it's like alphabetical. Think of something funny here, like a dry emu. Okay. We're going to do ASP and then GLU. Aspartate glutamate, or aspartic acid and glutamic acid. These ones are easy too. CH2, C, O, double bond O, O minus. Glutamate, it's the same thing, except it's longer. Okay, you just extend it. CH2, CH2, C, double bond O, O minus. So next we will do polar basic. That was acidic, now we're at basic. And there's 3 to memorize here. What I do is, what did I do? Put the, this is lysine, and R is arginine. And then we have H, histidine. So I remember this is LARK, lark, like this way, lark. And arginine, histidine. These ones are just straight lines. CH2, 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 and NH3 plus at the end. Okay? Arginine is more complicated. CH2, 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 NHC, NH, double bonded NH2 plus, and then up here is another NH2. So it's like the one with all the amines attached to the carbon, all the nitrogens. Histidine. Shoot, I'm sorry. This one is hard. You will not be asked to draw these things, but you will be asked to identify them. So there we have it. That's histidine. Now we go on to the last 6, which are polar uncharged. We have 6, and 3 of them involve hydroxyl, your OH hydroxyl group. So I'll start with those. S, T, Y. You formed a word. Ta-da, that's really easy. It's a sty. C-R, T-H-R, T-Y-R, S-T-T. So S-T-Y and then S-T-T. This is serine, threonine, irisin. And as I said, they all have OH groups and they're all pretty simple. Look at that. That's it. So CH2 and then OH. Now with threonine, you want to add a CH3 group, methyl group up here, then OH again. Tyrosine, CH2. Then here you add a ring before you add the OH. And now we're on to our last 3, which are just the assorted ones that we have to deal with. CN, Q, CYS, ASN, GLN. See? Have you noticed something here? These 2 are actually asparagine and glutamine. We just learned that we had up there aspartic acid, glutamic acid. Look at these structures. Are they familiar to you? Well, all we do is we take this structure and we replace this group here with NH2 instead of the O. That's what makes it polar uncharged. So, like this. Then there's another C here. Double bonded O. NH2. Easy. Glutamine. CH2. CH2. It should be recognizable to you that this is the same as aspartate and glutamate. And your last one, super easy, cysteine, which is CH2 SH. And there we go. I didn't tell you how to memorize these, but I think what's important is that you come up with something like cyanide queen. Okay, we'll go with that. Let's just go back to the beginning and go through everything. Our first group is nonpolar. Glaciers in Alaska valiantly locate isolated prowlers. Let's zoom out a little. Then we have FWM, which is female walrus male, and we have pine tree mustang. Now we have polar acidic charged DE, dry emu, dry echidna, and we have aspartate and glutamate. Here we have lark, L-A-R-K, and then the H just underneath. Now we have sty, and these ones all have OH, 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 OH. Remember that? And then our final group, cyanide queen, cysteine, which is just SH, asparagine, and glutamine, which are the same as these 2 up here. And these are your 4 groups of 20 amino acids for the class biochemistry. Hope you're able to memorize these, and I hope that you guys make your own charts like this and find your own ways to memorize. Thanks for watching.